We are live for another episode of the Couch Warrior podcast. As always, I'm your host, Mike, and today we're going to be breaking down Dana White's Contender Series Week 8. We've got only 2 weeks left. Finally got another winning week. What was it? Last week? I think we finally won, but I don't remember what it was. I'm going to pull it up now. It's a good card. It's a solid card. There's a bunch of fun fights on this one. A few high-level fights, a few not so much. One fight that really stands out as high-level, but I'm looking forward to it. Okay, yes, we did finally profit last card because I had a half unit on Jesla Chavez at plus 195 and a half unit on Torres by decision. So profited a half unit there. Still down on the whole season, but not a lot. I think I'm down 2 or 3 units because I've been keeping it small. So lost most weeks, but kept it small. Hopefully we can turn it around in these last 3 cards. And yeah, let's jump right into it. I don't think this is going to be a long show. This fight that we're about to talk about, I rushed this one because I didn't have time today. So I briefly taped it before doing the show. On Paulo de Silva, I only have 2 fights to work with anyway, so it's not like I had a ton, but I kind of rushed it. And the rest, I feel like there's not a ton to say for some of them. So I don't think this will be long. Keep it short and sweet. It's already 9 o'clock right now, Eastern time. And yeah, let's jump right into it. So first fight of the night, we have Rashid Vagabov versus Paulo de Silva. Vagabov, he's going to be 13-2-0, 27. He's 5'7" with a 63-inch reach, which is kind of crazy, 63 inches. But flyweight, I guess it's not the worst thing ever, but that's really short. Paulo de Silva, 11-1-0, 23. He's 4 years younger, same height. He's going to have a 6-inch reach advantage. So Vagabov, he's a Dagestani guy, trained with Habib, all of them. Believe he's at AKA now, but I don't remember off the top of my head. I briefly glanced at his Instagram. It actually might have been ATT. I mix them up sometimes. And then Silva on the other side, we know he's training at Shootbox. He's with Charles Oliveira, all those guys. It's a good fight. It's an interesting fight. Again, this is the one fight that I didn't tape fully. I do lean towards the Vagabov side purely because he's fought better competition for the most part. I think that his wrestling is better, his offensive wrestling. I do think that Silva can get, a little bit too happy to play off of his back at times. It's not like it happened a ton. Again, there's only 1.5 fights of him really available. There's like the full fight, this one, and then the fight before that I think ended in like the second round. No, it was this one that was available. Yeah, and the guy's nickname is Du Bronx also. But I do have a feeling that he can get stuck on his back, playing off of it for subs. So I could see Vagabov getting takedowns. I could see Vagabov getting control time. On the feet, I actually think it's kind of close. Vagabov looks like a good striker, but I like Silva striking too. I have to look at it a little bit more, like I said, because look, if Vagabov is getting those takedowns, but Silva isn't fishing for submissions the entire time, he does it a little bit, sets it up for a sweep or to scramble, gets back up on his feet, we could be looking at a competitive fight. And again, I think the striking is close, and I liked what I saw from Silva. So I'm going to go with Vagabov as a pick. I don't see myself getting anywhere near the minus 600, minus 700, 800 I'm seeing on DK. Like, there's no way. It's dog or pass for me because I do think that Silva's good. Again, I need to tape it a little bit more, but I think that, he's 21, 22 years old. He's going to be improving. Vagabov's young too. He's still going to be improving as well. But when we're talking 21, 22-year-olds, it's like a blank canvas, and he's already got 12 fights to build on. So I think both guys eventually hit the UFC. I think tomorrow it's probably Vagabov, unless he kind of gives a snoozer and a win and kind of grapples and doesn't do anything exciting. Then Dana won't sign him. But yeah, I'll pick him for now. I could see myself getting to a Silva play, but that's the one fight I need to tape a bit more. Let me catch up with the chat, and then we'll keep going. What's up, Jeff? Let's win tomorrow. Fingers crossed. He's picking Magno and Pinas. Okay, I like it. Next up, we have Kurtis Campbell versus Demba Seck. Campbell 7-0. He's undefeated. He's going to be 23 years old, 5'9" with a 72-inch reach. Seck on the other side, 10-2-0. He's 31. So he's, 8 years older. He's going to be 1 inch taller. We don't have his reach, but I'm going to guess that it's a little bit longer. And at face-offs, he did look quite a bit bigger, like more than an inch, honestly. It's a really interesting matchup because Campbell should win. Like, skill for skill, he's the better guy. He's a better grappler without question. He's definitely got the wrestling. His jiu-jitsu is really, really nice. He has good control. He's fought the much better competition. I'm hesitant to say that he's a better striker because he's not an amazing striker, Campbell, but he's decent. His hands are pretty good. His kicks aren't bad. He's putting together decent combinations, but it's all to set up the wrestling. You don't see him coming out there striking for 15 minutes. I don't think he's going to do that here. I think he's going to grapple. And then with Seck, super green. I believe he started pro MMA 2021. He's older, but he has less fights if you're going to count Campbell's amateur experience. And with Seck, it's like, again, he's very raw, but I can see some talent there. His striking's pretty good. He's not the smoothest guy. He's not like flowing in there, but he'll put together some combinations. He's got a solid jab, throws relatively straight most of the time, solid kicks. Takedown defense, I didn't get to see it tested much. I do think that he can be taken down, but he seems very explosive, very athletic. I think he has solid abilities to get back up onto his feet. I just don't know if he could do it against Campbell because of the jiu-jitsu of Campbell. It's not even like Campbell's some kind of amazing wrestler. He's not. And he's not the most physical or athletic either, but he does have really good jiu-jitsu, and because of that, he has good control. So once he gets you down, it's very, very difficult to get back up. But something about this fight, man, makes me really want to take a shot on Seck. I just feel like it's one of those fights where Campbell's better. Campbell should win. Campbell is winning. And then Seck just explodes back up and just knocks him out. I can see it, and I'm very tempted. I do think Campbell's going to win. I'm going to lean towards a sub. But I can see it going a few ways, like first off, I can see Campbell coming out there and just subbing him immediately because Seck has not faced anybody like this on the ground. That's on the table. I also think it's possible this fight goes the distance. Campbell gets those takedowns, gets that control time. But because Seck is tough, because he's very athletic, very explosive, he's able to survive, and we get to like a very greasy decision. I could see that. And I can also see Seck just nuking him at some point while losing the fight. So I'm going to pick Campbell, but I'm going to play with the volatility if I do end up making a bet. Should be a fun fight. All right. Next up, we've got Christopher Alvidrez versus Eliezer Kubanza, by far the highest level fight on the card. Alvidrez 6-1-0. He's 28 years old, 6 feet tall with a 74-inch reach. On the other side, Kubanza, he's going to be 7-0, undefeated, 27. He's 1 year older. Oh, 1 year younger. That's Alvidrez is 28, not 26. 27 for Kubanza, 1 year younger. And he's going to be 3 inches shorter. Didn't look like that. He did look a little bit shorter, but not that much shorter at face-offs. And he did look thicker, bigger, definitely looks more athletic, stronger. But it's a really good fight. I do think that Kubanza is the rightful favorite. I think the line might be a bit too much. The way I see it, I'm looking at Kubanza, and I like almost everything I see. I like his striking. He does sometimes, I don't know what it is. I don't want to say he's slow, but I think Alvidrez is a lot faster on the feet personally. But Kubanza is also a good striker, good combinations, keeps it straight down the pipe. He's got a good jab, very good kicks, good leg kicks, hits hard, mixes it up well, goes to the body really well, and he can grapple. Kubanza can grapple, and I think that's the big thing here. His athleticism and his grappling is probably what puts him above for me. Because in the striking, I think that he might be more technical, but I'm not ready to say that in a 15-minute striking affair, he's 100% winning, But once you mix in the grappling and everything, the athleticism, the power, then I start to lean towards the Kubanza side because I do like his wrestling. I like his defensive wrestling too. Not that I don't think it's really going to matter much here. Alvidrez is a guy who will mix in takedowns here and there, but it's not really his game. He'll mix it in if he thinks it's necessary or if it'll help out. But he doesn't really do it all that much. I think that he prefers to strike. I think that's pretty easy to say. And I think that Kubanza's takedown defense is good enough where even if Alvidrez chose to shoot, I think Kubanza can defend, keep it on the feet, and do his thing, and then land his own takedowns. Not at will, but I do think he can get the takedowns without too much resistance. That said, at this line, it's dog or pass for me. I don't want to lay the chalk on Kubanza, and part of it is because I think Alvidrez can give him some trouble striking. Part of it is I think that Alvidrez could pace him a little bit. And the other thing is, which I haven't really heard much, is Kubanza, I don't want to say he's chinny, but I saw him hurt in 2 separate fights. I don't remember off the top of my head which ones those are. Everything's mixed together at this point. I've been going through the tape very quickly since yesterday, I believe. And I just remember him getting dropped in one fight and getting hurt, and I believe also dropped in another fight. I know for a fact he's been hurt in at least 2 of them. And that gives me a little bit of pause because Alvidrez is very fast. Alvidrez hits hard, and he's explosive in his own right as well. And he's got a very unorthodox kind of style. He's light on his feet. The combinations are nice. He mixes it up really well. He'll also go to the body. He has good kicks. Both guys have good leg kicks. It's just a really good fight. Like, you have to make Kubanza the favorite, again, because of the grappling, the athleticism. But for me, it has to be dog or pass, just because I could see this being a close fight. You know, if Kubanza isn't taking Alvidrez down easily, I could see this being close. I can see Alvidrez having his moments. I can see him dropping Kubanza. I can see him attritionally starting to wear on him just by throwing more output. I do think he has higher volume out of the two of these guys. So I'll pick Kubanza. I'll pick him to win. I actually think he'll win by decision. I'm curious what the overs are going to look like. Over 1.5 is plus money, so that actually might be something. Because if a finish comes, I kind of lean towards it being Alvidrez chinning him. I want to check. I don't remember how many early finishes Kubanza has. He's fought better comp, so I have to give him that. Okay, he's finishing guys early too. I don't know what it is. I just feel like if an early finish happens, I kind of lean towards it being Alvidrez. And I lean towards him not knocking out Kubanza, so I kind of like that over 1.5. I'll think about that one. And I could get to an Alvidrez underdog shot too. I do think Kubanza is going to get it done. I do think he's the real deal. It's just that this line is probably a dog or pass for me. Next up, we've got Luis Jourdain versus Magno Diaz. Jourdain, 8-3-0, 28 years old, 5'9" with a 69-inch reach. On the other side, Diaz, he's 6-1-0. He's 28 as well. He's going to be 3 inches shorter. He looked quite a bit shorter, maybe even more than that at faceoffs. And I don't have his reach on me. I do think that Jourdain probably has a longer reach, though. It's an interesting fight. I've seen a lot of people talking bad about Magno, and I'm a little confused about it. I think it has to be just the fact that people, for some reason, just hate the fighting nerds now. I mean, 1 year ago, they were the darling of MMA. Now everybody hates them. And anybody from Fight Nerds, by definition, they say that they're terrible now. So I guess that's why. But I think he's pretty good. I think Diaz is pretty good. There's some things I don't love. You know, in the striking, sometimes he can swing a bit wild. He could be a little bit flat-footed at times. Could be a little bit submission over position also when he's grappling. And I think he can be a little bit hittable. But I like his game. I like his striking. He'll go to the body well. He'll mix it up. The combinations are nice. He's got good forward pressure, heavy hands. He's got some power to him. He's got good leg kicks. Don't remember if I said that or not. It's been a long day. And he can mix in the grappling. And I do think he can mix in the grappling here. He hasn't wrestled as much lately. He's been kind of choosing to strike. And that's great and all, but I don't think he should do that here. I think Jourdain is a cleaner striker. I'll talk about him in a moment, but I do think that Diaz can wrestle here. I do. Jourdain has solid takedown defense, but he can be taken down. He can be taken down, and he can be controlled a little bit. Once he gets to the fence, you know, he's able to work his way back up, but I do think that he's a guy who can be grappled to an extent, and I think that if Diaz is going to win this fight, yeah, he can strike with Jourdain, but I don't think he can only strike with him. I think he has to grapple at least a bit in order to win the fight. And he has to not rush the submission attempts. He can't just jump into things. He has to make sure he has the position first. He's going to stay solid and then go for it. And then with the Jourdain side, there's some things I like a lot. I like his kicks a lot. I think he's a really good kicker. I think his range management is pretty solid. I think the kicks come up fast. The leg kicks are good. The body kicks, the head kicks, the teep kicks. I love it. I like all the parts of his kicking game. His hands, though, are kind of hit or miss for me. Because I started with the more recent fights, right? With these. And I was like, okay, like it's the striking's solid, but like he's not really using the hands a lot. And he's not throwing a lot either. And I just didn't really like what I saw from the boxing. But then in this fight against Sagman, I really liked his boxing. Maybe it's because Sagman's a lower level. Maybe he's a little bit more hittable. Maybe that's why he was able to get his hands going a bit more. But there, his hands looked nice, and he looked fast. And he would hit those combinations on the inside and then move out of range. So It's tricky. Maybe it's just because he's young. He's still, not super consistent. But that's kind of just what I noticed. Like, I like the kicks a lot. I just would wish that he used his hands more, use that boxing more. And I don't love his output. I also think he's a little bit of a slow starter, and I don't really think he carries all that much power. Most of his knockout wins, unless I'm thinking about the wrong guy, and I'm almost positive that I'm not, most of his knockout wins, or at least two of them, it was guys just refusing to continue, which is great and all. It means you're really tough and they couldn't deal with you, but I'm just not really seeing some kind of big power with the hands or with the kicks. The kicks are fast and accurate and good, technical, but there doesn't seem to be a ton of power, personally, in my opinion. And kind of like his brother, he'll go for front chokes here and there, but I think that's only going to hurt him here. I don't think he should be going for guillotines or anything like that, because he's just going to end up on his back. I think Diaz is a better grappler than him. So I don't really know who I want to pick. I think Jourdain's cleaner. I kind of have a better feeling about Diaz, though. So I think I'm going to go that way. That's what I'm going to do. I think they're around the same level. I don't have a super good read about this fight. I know some people have stronger takes than me, and they might just have a better read on the fight than me, because I don't have a great read. I'm not crazy about either guy. I think they're both serviceable and could be good. I just don't know yet if what I think about them, as long-term prospects in the UFC. I'm not sure. So I'll just pick Magno, because at the end of the day, you give me a guy in a close fight on the feet. He's the dog, but he's got the grappling upside. I'm more than likely going to end up going that way. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go Diaz. I'll go decision, and we'll move on. I don't think I'm betting it, unless if Diaz hits like plus 200, I'll bet it, or close. Honestly, I'm already getting kind of close, but again, my read's not good enough where I'm rushing to do it. And if it does hit something like plus 200, then my hand would be forced. Maybe something a little bit lower than that could do the trick too. All right, we're up to the main event. For the main event, we have Vitor Costa. Oh, we have my guy Dravi over here. What's up, Dravi? I know he's repping Canada with Jourdain. All right, we have Vitor Costa versus Damian Pinas. Costa, 8-1-0, 25 years old, 6'2", don't have his reach. Pinas, 7-1-0, 23 years old. So he's 2 years younger. He's going to be 1 inch shorter, and he's going to don't have the reach for Costa, but he's got a 79-inch reach. So he's got a long reach, and Pinas is very athletic. So let's talk about him first. I don't really know what I was expecting going into the tape, but I wasn't expecting his takedown defense to be that horrible. And I'm rooting for the guy because he's from Aruba. I proposed to my wife in Aruba. It's got a special place in my heart. I love that place. But, I pulled up the tape on him, and this dude's just getting taken down every fight. Every single fight. And usually these really athletic, strong guys, even if they don't have the technique of how to defend the takedown, they don't know fight the hands. They don't know use your underhooks. They don't know you have to use the hips. Usually they're athletic enough where they can still stuff some things, but he's just getting taken down by everybody. Every single guy that he's fought has taken him down. He's getting controlled. He does a solid job at working back up to his feet. That's why he's still 7-1-0, because he's been able to get back up and bonk his opponents. His striking is solid, usually relatively straight down the pipe. He's got a solid jab, a solid 1-2. The kicks are solid. It's just I don't think he's a great minute winner. I think his grappling is really, really bad. And, he's young enough and athletic enough where he can get really good. He's already got the build. He's already got some skills. He's already got some solid striking. He's already got the power. Teach the man to defend some takedowns, and you can start to have something real on your hands. But right now at 23 years old, I'm not really seeing it. And then with Costa, I'm not super crazy about him either. He's kind of like a really plotty guy. He isn't throwing as much at range, like long shots. He's kind of got to be in boxing range, got to be in the pocket, but he does good work there. He's throwing a good amount of volume. The combinations are pretty good. He's got some power. He's got some decent leg kicks, and he can grapple. That's kind of the big thing for me here, is that he can actually wrestle, and Pinas cannot. So I have to go with Costa here. I have to pick him. I think that at the end of the day, he's the better minute winner. He's going to be winning this fight the majority of the time. I have the gut feeling that that's exactly what's going to happen, is he's going to be winning the majority of the fight, and then he's just going to get clocked. I have a really strong feeling that might happen. So I don't really want to bet on him, but he is the underdog. So I am still thinking about it. I taped this fight before the lines came out. This was, I believe, the first one I did, or the second one after the Kubanza fight. And after I taped it, I was like, okay, fighting nerd for Costa. Pinas has no takedown defense whatsoever. Super raw, super green, no shot. He opens favorite. Open favorite. And then the money came in on him and made him even more of a favorite. Now it's starting to even out. There was buyback. We're looking at close to a pick. I'm not really. Minus 125 Pinas now, plus 105 Costa. It's just it's one of those spots, man. It's Pinas. I think he can be really good. I don't think he's there, but I kind of feel like he might win anyway. So athleticism, power, great equalizer. It's going to be a mess of a fight, that's for sure, because neither of these guys is super technical. Like Costa's more technical, but he's not super technical either. He's a brawler too. So it's going to be a mess of a fight. Totals are kind of interesting because on one hand, it's a mess of a fight. And I think that if Costa fights like he normally does, but doesn't grapple, and he's just going forward, he's good chance he gets bonked and we go under. But at the same time, if Costa's grappling, I could see this going over and kind of sailing over relatively easy. So that's not a bad look, in my opinion. I think Costa's not a bad look. But I think I might like the over 1.5 more than I like the Costa money line. I'm not sure. I have to think about that one. I'll go Costa. Decision, I guess. Like, I'm just trying to imagine it. Can he knock out Pinas? Maybe. Can he sub him? Yeah, possibly. But when I can't decide, I just go decision. So that's what I'm going to do. I think it's going to be a mess of a fight. I feel like you either get like something late from Costa or a decision, or you get like a Pinas round 1 knockout. I think that's 100% on the table, and I'm not counting him out. I think that out of the two of them, Pinas probably has more potential. But I think right now, Costa's probably a little bit better. And that's it, guys. That's Dana White's Contender Series Week 8. I didn't say hi to everybody in the chat. My bad. What's up, Bill? Thank you for tuning in, and thank you for tuning in, Adebayo. Good to see you in here. Appreciate the support. And yeah, I'll run through the picks one more time. Not at all my most confident reads. This is a really tricky card for me, but also one that I'm really excited about because I feel like all these matchups are really fun, right? Like Vagabov versus De Silva. I'm picking Vagabov, but both really good. Really should be competitive, should be fun, should be high level. I'm going to pick Campbell in this one, but I think Seck could possibly pull it off just by being athletic and powerful. Kubanza, but dog or pass. Best fight of the card, in my opinion. Magno Diaz is the pick here, but I don't have a strong read, and that should be a fun fight too. And then Vitor Costa is the pick for me, but again, I kind of have a gut feeling that he's going to be winning, and then just get bonked. But thank you guys for tuning in. Good luck tomorrow, and we will be going live on Wednesday for UFC 320. Make sure to tune in. And then on Thursday, we're doing the panel. Going to be me, Tyler, as always. My guy Javi over here will be there. And we are still waiting on confirmation from the other guests. And I'll let you guys know as soon as I do. Peace out, guys.